Hello everyone, welcome back again to this channel. Thank you so much for being with me. So guys, I'm not actually bringing for you guys latest update. So if you're doing anything at the moment, can you just leave it and come and listen to with me and not listen to this news with me? And also please, I want you guys to stay in the end of this live session because you guys are going to be benefiting a whole lot from this. Now, breaking news: Nigerians are in shock. Barrister Darlington has dropped a bombshell accusing the federal government of dining and wining with terrorists. Is our government secretly negotiating with killers while innocent citizens are dying every day? Now, stick around with me because this one will shake you guys to the core. Barrister Darlington, a respected lawyer and human rights advocate, has accused the federal government of double standard in handling terrorism and agitation in Nigeria. According to him, while innocent protesters, activists, and agitators are brutally detained, the same government is allegedly negotiating secretly with terrorists responsible for thousands of deaths. Now, this is what Barrister Darlington said. He said, how can a government dine with terrorists yet refuse to release peaceful agitators? What message are we sending to Nigerians? And here is where it gets sensitive. When IPOB Nnamdi Kanu talks about Biafra, he's detained without bail. When Sunday Igbo have calls for self-determination, he's hunted down like a criminal. But when terrorists and bandits terrorize the entire state, the government allegedly sits at the table with them, sometimes even offering amnesty and money. This is why many Nigerians are calling it state-sponsored injustice. Now, security experts are warning that this approach could backfire dangerously by rewarding terrorists with negotiation. Now, you're sending a message. If you want attention, pick up a gun. And that's why we've seen so many banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency spread like wildfire across the north and parts of the state. And let's not forget the real victims here. Thousands have been killed, millions have been displaced, children are growing up in the IDP camps without hope. For their families, hearing that the government is allegedly dining with the very people responsible for their pain is like pouring salt into an open wound. But why would the federal government do this? Analysts believe that there could be a political move. Destabilize regions to gain electoral advantage, use terrorists as political bargaining chips, protect certain groups because of ethnic affiliations. If this is true, it means terrorism is no longer just a security problem, it's now a political weapon. Now, globally, this revelation could damage Nigeria's reputation. The US, UK, and AU already monitor our counter-terrorism policies closely. If we are seen as negotiating with terrorists while dealing peaceful agitators, Nigeria could face sanctions, loss of international aid, weakened security partnership. In short, this isn't just a domestic scandal, it's an international embarrassment. Now, on social media, Nigerians are furious listening to some of the trending reactions. Some people are saying that peaceful protesters get bullets, but terrorists get 5-star treatment. This country is finished. Another person said federal government is playing with fire. They are emboldening killers while silencing what activists. Barrister Darlington is right. Someone else said Barrister Darlington is right. If true, this is nothing short of treason. Now, here's my final opinion. This is not just bad governance, it's betrayal of trust. A government that dines with terrorists but jails peaceful citizens is sowing the seed of chaos. But if the federal government insists they are only negotiating for peace, then Nigerians deserve full transparency. Tell us, who are you meeting? What are you offering? And how are victims, being protected? Because without openness, this looks like peace talks and more like complicity. What do you guys think? Is the federal government secretly dining with terrorists, or is this just a political smoke screen? So guys, I would like you guys to drop your comment below and tell me what you guys really think about what Barrister Darlington has said, that the federal government are only seen dining with terrorists. So guys, watch this video about what Barrister Darlington said, and I'll be right back.
You can't join APC and still remain the same. Immediately you join APC, your faculty of cognitive reasoning will disappear.
I'm sorry. No, comrade. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean.
I'm going straight to the point.
Okay.
You see, it is a common knowledge. Even our candidate, the gubernatorial, the candidate that Edo people voted for, Dr. Asolime Igodalo, throughout for a period over 2 weeks, if not even a month, it was in Edo Central. You see, what they did was a commando style. Like in my community. I heard from the same community with the permit me to say it the way it is. With the same annex elected deputy governor. I hate from the same community. I'm from World War, from War II. He militarized my community. You have a rep here. Let you go and do investigative journalism. In my father's house is a one street. Throughout the night, it was a complete surveillance. A complete surveillance. You see, let me quickly say this. I underestimated the power of Dennis Idausa, because intelligent people always underestimate the power of stupid people. That is just the gospel truth.
I'm sorry.
That is just the gospel truth.
Excuse me, Comrade Destiny. We will not tolerate that on this station.
I will draw it. I will draw it.
Thank you very much.
I will draw it. I will draw it. My sincere apology. My sincere apology.
Go ahead.
You see, the way I'm pained. You saw what happened immediately after the election. The following morning, with utmost humility, to Modupeolo, he released a press release that from the victory from the by-election, that 2027 election is a walkover.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I was coming to that point, but the barrister here. I was coming to that point. Let the barrister here in the studio react, because he seems to disagree with the public secretary of APC. Barrister, what's your reaction? You said you don't agree with him.
Those whose bread has been buttered by the gods, they should not call others fools. Tinubu asked Edo people, do you want me to give you Edo State?
God bless you.
And they said yes. Mr. Okoro, how else do you think that any other person can win Edo? In the petition before the tribunal, Ighodalo went to court to challenge the victory of Ogbebolo. And the appeal court said, yes, we agree there was overvoting that gave victory to Ogbebolo. But you who is alleging, you are going to prove to us that yes, this overvoting is real by giving all the evidence and all the facts. Meanwhile, INEC was making it impossible to provide the details for Ighodalo. The appeal court realized that there was overvoting. They agreed. On the basis of that, is the appeal court not supposed to shut down that election? Since they have agreed on that fact, but they are using technicalities. Meanwhile, INEC was not cooperating to bring all the facts to the opposition. So when people are talking that they work hard, which hard did you work? Which hard? They should not allow us to say things. So which hard did you work? You didn't work any hard. Your godfather gave you Edo State, so you can take it and let us rest. That particular judgment by the appeal court, in fact, if I were Ogbebolo, I should have handed over the mantle of leadership to Ighodalo. Because their court agreed that you didn't win the election, but they gave it to you. So what was that? What was that, Mr. Okoro? How do you define that?
Was it a political judgment?
What political judgment? That was, in fact, that was, I don't know how to call it, that was injustice, so to say, injustice of the highest order.
Okay, now, Barrister, let's establish what might happen in 2027. If you look at how everything happened across the 14 states, in 12 states, one, it was in Jigawa, it was inconclusive. In Enugu state, it was third for the fourth time. Now, in every other state, except for Kano, where the APC put up some kind of performance against the ruling NNPP, in all other states, APC won, PDP won, in the states that they have the governor and the party in control. Now, talking about what the APC did, does it give an inkling, an insight into what might happen in 2027? Because we didn't see the opposition put up any fight. Labour Party was nowhere to be found. PDP was nowhere to be found, especially in parties that, in states that they are operating as opposition parties. So does that tell you what will likely happen in 2027?
I mean, it's very obvious. So, Mr. Okoro, I am afraid all this noise that they will unseat Tinubu and all that, I didn't see any serious effort here.
Isn't it too early to join the ADC with this by-election? Because they are still putting their acts together.
In politics, money shows the day. Since the opposition have not been able to agree in coming together and all that, since the opposition have not been able to agree on who will fly their flag, then what other victory are they expecting? What other victory? They are not even united. I was thinking that with this by-election and off-circle elections, the opposition would have told APC that, look, this is not going to be business as usual. But all the electoral robbery we saw, they allowed it. Mr. Okoro, they allowed it. They didn't even challenge them at the polling unit and say, no, this thing will not fly you. Even at the collection center at the polling unit, gather together. There is strength in numbers. The opposition are not showing this strength. They are not. So why should I sit now and pretend as if it's going to be Uhuru in 2027? They tested their plan and it worked. So you will need the God to obtain it in 2027. And from all indications, the man at the helm of affairs is not going to take prisoners. So I have not known him to take prisoners when it comes to these matters. So the opposition need to wake up and insist. At the polling unit, insist there. Somebody want to steal your property and you say, no, give it to me, you can't take it. Is that violence? It's not violence now. If police want to arrest, let police arrest everybody and take us to police station, including our NEC officials. But don't buy this idea when the horse has escaped. You now close the barn door and start complaining and lamenting. You face them there at that polling unit where it happened. Face them there. Don't allow them to rig the election there. Because if the election has been casted and then you collect your results, the result, everybody have their own. Whatever they like, they go and do. You can use that result and challenge them in court. But if you allow it to go to collection center and they release the results, my brother, you're on your own.
Okay, all right, thanks very much. Now let's go to Bini because Barrister Owadia wants to react to something that you said. Barrister Owadia, go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
I'm very surprised that my learned friend is speaking from two sides of his mouth. Very unprofessional like him. The Court of Appeal never justified any overvoting. There was no part from the first word of that judgment. I'm a lawyer of 33 years standing. From the first word of that judgment to the last, there was no way the justices of the Court of Appeal ever said that there was overvoting. So my learned friend should go back and read that judgment again. Don't put the law head down here. We are talking to the generality of the public, and we must not misinform them.
Okay.
Nobody justified any overvoting and turn again to say that they didn't prove anything by way of technicality. What happened was that the Court of Appeal affirmed the decision of the tribunal and said that the overvoting being complained about by the petitioner, who are now the appellants there, were not proved. There was no alter of any evidence before the court to show that there was overvoting. And the areas where there was any alter of overvoting, the results were cancelled before the collation. Those were the words of the justices of the Court of Appeal. Where is my friend reading from? And come here, you don't come to the studio.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr.
Wait a minute. You gave, please, Mr. Okoro, please. You gave me time to speak a while ago.
No,
he has also come to say that the opposition
has made your point. So don't make it personal. Excuse me, sir.
Again, please. He talked about, he talked about the opposition not working hard. Tomorrow, if APC now wins, people will now be saying that Tinubu has rigged the election. Do we have any strong opposition in Nigeria today? Do we have any? Is it here in court? A party that from the very beginning, litigations have enveloped them? Or is it the Labour Party that have not had any direction? Or the PDP that has completely collapsed? So when you are talking that people are doing things contrary to the constitution or the laws, you must say it with facts. This is a situation we have in this country. Opposition parties are not strong enough. And where the opposition parties have lived up to their expectations, they have always won elections. Like in Edo, he said just now that what I don't expect you to say that. But when we were laboring there and then, he wasn't there. It's not from Edo State. It's not the way he's speaking about Edo State. What do you know about Edo? What do you know about Edo? I was a participant. What do you know about Edo? When we were laboring, PDP were not doing anything.
If people were strong, why were you asking Tinubu to give you Edo State?
What do you know about Edo that you are saying that we didn't work.
I said,
You are asking me what work did you do?
Why
You don't know anything about it. Don't speak in that manner. And you were not in a door to say what we did. If you were in a door to say what we did, I would have got into your argument. Don't give any praises accusating them.
We know how a government becomes the governor. We know after during the primary, did the governor win the primary? Did he win the primary? We know how he became the governor now.
Were you the one that won the primary?
What are you telling me? Why did you ask him to give you a state? Why did you ask him to give you a state?
Were you the one that won the primary?
That was an electoral infraction. Why should the president say, I will give you a state?
What do you know by electoral infraction?
Yes.
Who did that name declared to be the winner?
All right, gentlemen.
Was that not part of it?
Gentlemen,
you are undermining the integrity of the INEC now.
Thank you very much.
Please don't speak about what you don't know.
What did I not make credible before? Was it credible?
Please don't speak about what you don't know. But you don't have the facts.
You saw what happened during the election. They have to check the venue. The collection center, they check the venue just to favor you.
All right, then. Thank you so much, everyone. Tonight,
So you guys have listened to what they said, especially what the argument they were having. Now, Barr Darlington has made it clear to them that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually, dining with terrorists. So he said Nigeria is boiling because Barr Darlington has accused the federal government of dining and wining with terrorists, while Nigerians suffer daily attacks. Is the implicit in terrorism? That is the question. Or is this a part of a secret political agenda? Now, stay tuned, guys, because this one will shake the table. But Darlington claims aren't just ordinary allegations. They strike at the heart of national security. He says the federal government is secretly negotiating, dining and cutting deals with the same terrorists killing Nigerians daily. Now, this is what Barrister Darlington said. He said, when a government dines with terrorists but jails peaceful agitators, what message are you sending? Violence space. Is that what you're saying? Now let's talk about selective justice. Peaceful activists like Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho are detained, chased and silenced. NSAS protests demanding police reform were shot at Lekki toll gate. Yet the government allegedly negotiates secretly with terrorists, granting amnesty, cash and security escorts. This double standard breeds anger and fuels division across Nigeria. It says, it's just like pick up a gun and the government would listen. Speak peacefully and you will be jailed. That is what they're trying to tell us. Every time the federal government negotiates ransom deals or offers amnesty, it rewards violence. Reports have exposed cases where repentant terrorists are given cash settlements, houses and farmlands, even foreign scholarship. This approach has backfired. Instead of reducing terrorism, it's created new warlords. Terrorists now see Nigeria as a business opportunity. Why government officials allegedly wine and dine with terrorists, ordinary Nigerians bleed. The Chibok girls are still missing. Thousands of families are homeless. There are so many IDP camps in different places. Over 3 million Nigerians live in IDP camps. For these victims, government negotiation with terrorists are not peace talks, they are betrayals. Now, analysts suspect political motive behind this alleged negotiation. Destabilize regions to control elections, use terrorists to weaken opponents, protect groups based on ethnic afflictions. If true, terrorism has become a political tool and Nigerians are paying the price in blood. To be fair, federal government often claims these talks are for peace, but here's the problem. Zero transparency. Nigerians don't know who they are meeting, what's being offered, and how justice for victims is ensured. Without openness, Nigerians will only suspect complicity and not diplomacy. This isn't the first time Nigeria's government has been accused of rewarding violence. Remember the Niger Delta militancy? The federal government offered amnesty and money, and military reduced. Yes, but at a huge cost. Billions were spent. Ex-militants became regional power brokers. Some returned to violence later, and we are repeating history, this time with terrorists. Globally, this revelation could damage Nigeria's reputation. US Congress already lists Nigeria as a high-risk terrorism hub. Canada has already said that APC and PDP are associated with terrorists. They said that they are terrorist organizations. EU security partners are watching closely. Amnesty International has repeatedly condemned secret deals. If Nigeria is seen as soft on terrorism, we risk sanctions, aid cuts, and loss of security support. Negotiating with terrorists without transparency embodies them. It makes the government look weak and encourages more violence. The constitution does not recognize special treatment for terrorists. If they must be integrated, there must be laws and due processes, no secret dinners. On social media, Nigerians are fuming. NSAS, people have started. Someone came out on social media and said NSAS protesters were killed, but terrorists are getting five-star treatment. Nigeria is upside down. Another Twitter user said, Barr Darlington is right. We are being governed by people who profit from chaos. Another person came out and said, federal government is indirectly funding terrorism. Full stop. If these allegations are true, then this is not just incompetency, it's terrorism governance. A government can't fight terrorism on one hand and fund it on the other. Nigeria deserves justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law, not backroom dealers with killers. Do you guys believe the federal government is secretly dining with terrorists? This is Nigeria where the people demands answers and the truth refuses to stay, buried. We need answers if the federal government is really dining with terrorists, because I've seen a lot of rumors going on that they say that the federal government is the one, funding these people, funding these terrorists. We've seen a lot of rumors like that. So people have started saying that Barrister Darlington may not be wrong in what he's saying. He may not be wrong, because tell me why peaceful protesters will be protesting about good governance, they'll be shooting at them. When these terrorists are there causing havoc, but the Nigerian government are not doing anything. Now, I see this as selective justice and double standard. Peaceful agitators like Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and Sunday Igboho are detained, harassed, and denied bail. NSAS protesters were shot at Lekki toll gate just for demanding justice. Meanwhile, alleged terrorist and bandit leaders are secretly met, negotiated with, and sometimes being pampered. Now, this is the implication of all this. Federal government appears tough on the weak but soft on the violent. Citizens begin to believe that violence is the only way to get government attention. Now, encouraging terrorism through amnesty. In the past, federal government has granted amnesty to repentant Boko Haram fighters and bandits. Allegations exist that these individuals are given cash settlements, houses and farmlands, foreign scholarship and skills training. This creates an insensitive structure. If you pick up a gun, you're rewarded. If you demand justice peacefully, you're punished. And this results to terrorism spreads instead of shrinking. This is another one, is betrayal of victims. Terror attacks have claimed tens of thousands of lives across Borno, Kaduna, Plateau, and Benue, and other states. Millions live in IDP camps depending on charity to survive. Parents of the Chibok girls and the Shabro still suffer heartbreak. You guys know Lee Sharibu. You guys know that girl that was kidnapped. She was among the Chibok girls. So there was a time that the mother came out on social media and was, celebrating the birthday of that girl. And that day was the day they actually adopted that girl. That's the parents of the Chibok girl and Lee Sharibu. They still suffer, heartbreak. The mother is still suffering the heartbreak of that girl still being not found till today. The mother came out on social media and was celebrating. I don't know if you guys watched it, but the mother came out and was celebrating the birthday of that girl, the Sharibi. She was celebrating it. It's a pity that the girl is still not found. Alleged government negotiation with terrorists insult victims, memories, and deepen public anger. Message is sent: the lives of citizens don't matter as much as what political was convenience. Many analysts believe there's a political dimension to these alleged talks. Using terrorists to destabilize regions before elections, protecting political allies within ethnic groups linked to insurgents, using violence as a bargaining chip for resource control and power retention. Now, this is the danger. If true, this is state-enabled terrorism. Nigeria's insecurity may never end because violence becomes politically useful. Now, weakening the rule of law. In a democracy, the law should be supreme, no individual or group above the law. By allegedly negotiating in secret, the federal government undermines courts and legal processes, weakens citizens' faith in justice, encourages lawlessness among armed groups. Constitutional implications: terrorists get special treatment, peaceful citizens face harsh justice. The security risk of empowering terrorists. Integrating repentant terrorists without proper de-radicalization creates bigger problems. They get insider knowledge of security operations, some return to violence, better trained and better funded. There are multiple reports of repentant Boko Haram fighters rejoining ISWAP and bandit camp. The implications are that Nigeria may be creating super terrorists while ordinary Nigerians remain defenseless. International reputation damage. Nigeria is already on global watch list for terrorism financing and insurgency. If it is confirmed that federal government secretly dines with terrorists, consequences may include travel bans on top officials, sanctions from the US, EU and UK, reduction in foreign direct investment, loss of international aid means for what counter-terrorism, and the result is that Nigeria's image sinks further, affecting diplomatic what credibility. Economic cost of terrorism and negotiation. Terrorism already cripples Nigeria's economy, billions spent yearly on military operations, investors flee unstable regions, farmers abandoning farmlands, and this is what causing what food inflation. Offering financial packages to terrorists only worsens economic strain. Money meant for schools, hospitals and jobs is diverted to funding former fighters. Public perception. Citizens struggling in poverty urge government to reward those who cause the instability. Divisive ethnic and regional politics. IPOB, Yoruba Nation and other agitators are handled with military force. Northern bandits and Boko Haram factions are already invited to closed-door meetings. The implications of all this is that it creates ethnic resentment, fuels distrust between North, South, and Middle Belt, strengthens calls for secession because some groups feel discriminated against, public distrust and anger. Social media shows Nigerians are boiling. We suffer daily when federal government dines with killers. If terrorists get amnesty, then Nigeria rewards violence. This same government has failed to protect us, and the result is increasing calls for self-defense militias, widening gap between citizens and security forces, declining confidence in governance. International human rights concerns. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch and the UN have warned Nigeria against secret deals with terrorists, extrajudicial killings of agitators. If those discrimination in security policies, if these allegations are true, Nigerian risk human rights investigations, International Criminal Court, ICC scrutiny, transparency and accountability demands. Nigerians demand answers. Who are these terrorists being dined with? What deals are being cut? How will victims get justice? Without public disclosure, the perception remains that federal government is complicit. Security forces are protecting terrorists instead of citizens. Democracy is slowly what's collapsing. Barrister Darlington's core argument, this is Barrister Darlington's main argument. He insists federal government actions contradict their public statements. They promise to fight terrorism but pamper what terrorists. They ignore constitutional justice for peaceful citizens. They refuse to release Nnamdi Kanu but negotiate with Boko Haram. His statements reflect growing frustration among Nigerians who feel abandoned by their leaders. Now, the way forward. This is the way forward. Public pressure is mounting for transparency in security operations, equal application of the law, terrorists, agitators, and protesters alike, victim compensation, accountability for government officials, enabling war terrorism. Without reforms, Nigeria risks deeper insecurity, civil unrest, breakdown of trust in governance. Now, Barrister Darlington allegation has exposed Nigeria's fragile security architecture. It raises four burning questions, which are Nigerians are asking today: why negotiate secretly with terrorists while detaining peaceful citizens? Who benefits politically and financially from those deals? How are the victims compensated for their suffering? In Nigeria, inadvertently funding and empowering war terrorism. So, guys, what do you guys really think? Do you think that Barrister Darlington was actually true, by what he said, that the federal government is aligning and dining with these terrorists? Now, security and national safety. Undermining national security. When a government negotiates secretly with terrorists, it weakens what security institutions. It sends mixed signals to the military, the DSS, and police about whether to fight or abuse insurgents. Now, fueling future insurgency, terrorist groups learn that violence pays. Other groups may rise up, knowing federal government rewards attackers instead of prosecuting them. Loss of military angles. loss of military morale. Soldiers sacrifice their lives daily to defeat terrorists. When the same terrorists are allegedly dined with and rewarded, it demoralizes troops and discourages what frontline efforts. Now I'm going to be showing you guys a video. Now this video is talking about what this the chief of defense staff is talking about on insecurity. He came out and told us that he even liked the fact that Simon Ekpa has been arrested because Simon Ekpa is the one fueling insecurity. Like he was the one that is making this terrorism in Nigeria, to be widespread. Guys, I would love you guys to listen to this, and please drop your comment below. I want you guys to listen to what the chief of defense staff is saying, and I want you guys to also drop your comment below because I'll be right back to take your comments one after the other. So guys, just watch this
All right,
and
then.
listen
Thank
to
you so much, everyone. Tonight, we turn our focus to Nigeria's most pressing challenge, security. In the past days, a few incidents have occurred. First, at least 4 people were said to have been reportedly killed on Monday morning by Boko Haram terrorists in an ambush on security officials escorting farmers in the Konduga local government area of Borno State. And in Katsina, bandits opened fire on worshippers at a mosque and set others ablaze, where at least 50 people are said to have been confirmed killed in last week's bandits attack on villages in the Malmofashi local government area of Katsina State. Well, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Rabadu, said on Saturday that security forces recorded a major breakthrough with the capture of 2 top leaders of the Ansaru terrorist group. Mr. Rabadu told journalists in Abuja that the intelligence-led operation conducted between May and July capacitated the leadership of the Al-Qaeda-linked group and dealt the most decisive blow against them. Take a listen to Malam Nuhu Rabadu.
We have successfully concluded a high-risk, intelligence-led counter-terrorism operation, which led to the capture of the top leadership of Jama'atul Ansarul Muslimina fi Biladis, Sudan, commonly known as Ansaru, Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate. The targeted operation, which was conducted between May and July 2025, led to the capture of 2 top Ansaru leaders who have been responsible for masterminding several terrorist attacks against Nigeria over the past years. The first is Muhammad Usman, otherwise known as Abu Bara Abbas Mukhtar. The self-styled emir of Ansaru, he is the coordinator of various terrorist sleeper cells across Nigeria. He is also the mastermind of several high-profile kidnappings and armed robberies used to finance terrorism over the years. The second is Mahmoud al-Nigeri, otherwise known as Malam Mahmouda, Abu Bara's proclaimed chief of staff.
In just the past few weeks, troops have arrested hundreds of suspected terrorists, foiled attempted attacks in the northeast, and intensified border patrols against threats spilling over from the Sahel. Yet, despite these gains, fresh violence in the northwest and middle belt continue to claim lives, raising tough questions about intelligence, prosecutions, and long-term stability, with growing concerns about terrorism, banditry, and even threats to Nigeria's territorial integrity. We ask the question, is the military truly winning this war? And what must change for Nigerians to feel safer in their homes? Joining me tonight for this conversation is the Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for an exclusive conversation on the state of national security. General, thank you so much indeed for joining us today.
Good to be here again.
On behalf of Channels Television, I just wanted to send you to all of the troops and the men and the ground that we wanted to say thank you for the service you're doing for our nation,
Thank you very much.
risking your lives, being on the borderlines, being on the forefront, in the war front, and fighting these wars that we cannot fight for ourselves. Thank you so much, and good job that you and your men have been doing.
Thank you very much.
Having said that, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Still work to do.
Can you bring us up to speed? So many arrests, over 200 we understand. But where are we today in our war against terror and in defending our territorial integrity? Is there a summary that you can give us as to where we are today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shaun. Always a pleasure to be here. And thank you again for appreciating what the troops are doing. I think that goes a long way in really raising the morale of the troops. And that's what we want to also inform Nigerians that it's always very important. These are a few good guys that are standing up to ensure that people can sleep well, Nigeria can continue to thrive well and develop. And it's very important that we make them understand that we appreciate what they're doing, the sacrifice. It's not easy. They have families just like any other person, and they're standing there day, night, rain, storm, whatever, and doing so well. Where we are now is, I think we should be very grateful that things are really picking up well. Yes, we'll not have 100%. I don't think there's any country that has 100% of peace. These issues will be going. And you know, 16 years we've been at this. And it's not something within 2 years that will be able to stop it. But I can tell you we've made giant strides. We just mentioned about the Ansaru commanders that were arrested. This is one of the most significant arrests that have been made. And getting the two of them shows how detailed and how the planning went through. And that's how they were able to pick the two of them. These are guys that have been hunted for a very long time. And we're able to get them. And it shows that the intelligence and the operational works are working together. And for us, what is really has changed is that we have the synergy with all the organization. What we are doing is we are doing all of the nation approach in dealing with this. And that's why you see these successes are coming in. It's not going to be easy. It's not just going to stop overnight. But like I can tell you that north, south, east, west, central, all things are improving by the day. It's going to get well, it's going to get better, but we need to work at it. And then we're not going to rest on our oars, because the tendency is you think you have done this and then you go to sleep. No, it means there should be more work. Now we have to go deep down, and that's what we're doing. And I want to assure Nigerians that besides seeing the physical that we're doing, there are people that are working covertly day and night, picking out these guys, picking out all those cells that are sleeping, spreading all over, and we're keeping them in the mood and taking care of them. Yeah. And so I can assure you that it's going to be better, and it will continue to be better.
Particularly, and speaking with you tonight, you stand as a figure representational of a lot of people in uniform.
Correct.
And I don't usually do that, but I like to call out a few people. The likes of Tosin Ajayi at the DSS, the man in the NIA, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, those who are doing quiet work that Nigerians don't hear. Some of them, they cannot talk. Some of them, they cannot say what they are doing. But they are quietly working on the ground. Our nation has been besieged by these elements that want to bring our nation down, and they're killing innocent people. Imagine those who went to mosque early in the morning, early morning prayers in Malum Fashi local government area, and the butchered, killed them in the mosque. How dastardly, how callous can
and that is what we're saying. Now you look at what is driving this kind of people. How can you just wake up, go and see individuals and just kill them? It shows you there's a lot of evil, there's a lot of deranged individuals that are just going around because of ideologies they feel that people must be with them. If you're not with them, then you're an enemy. And that's why you see them taking either Christians, Muslims, because they don't respect religion, they don't respect border. And that is very critical. And that's why we want to appeal to Nigerians, especially those that think they can hide them for one reason or the other. Because why this thing keeps on thriving is we have some individuals that still support them, directly or indirectly, either through giving them funds, providing fuel, providing logistics that keeps them going, hiding them. And that's why we appeal to all Nigerians to put hands together. If we don't give them space, they will never try. And that's the best way to go about it.
Who support? We know the war is there, and we cannot, we report these things every day, the killings, the attacks, and we know that it's far from over. But we are together in this war, and get our confidence here on this side as a media, as a leading voice in the media space, that we will support you in terms of information management and all whatnot. We will still answer critical questions, but know that you've got our support.
I know,
and we are in this
we appreciate
war. We may not carry the guns, But in spirit, we are in this together.
And it's part of the non-kinetic effort we're talking about, because we are enlightening the public. This opportunity for us to talk to them directly, to know that they are partners. We are all partners in progress. For us to defeat this, we need everybody to be on board.
Yeah, the defeat must first come.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right, then. Thank you so much, everyone. Tonight, we turn our focus to Nigeria's general. Let's begin our conversation true and true. And I'd like to ask you some very tough questions tonight, beginning with a long-time promise of government, not only in this government, about the announcement of terrorism financiers in this country. Why is it difficult to name names of those who are financing terror in this country?
Well, I think the process is on. I mean, for this government, I can say that just last week, the Attorney General and other ones have gone to Giwa to go and check, because it has to do with a lot of legal issues. And because, again, it has to do with international connections. Some of them have funds coming from outside. We cannot do anything from within.
So we know them. We know some of these elements.
Yeah, like the ones...
The local ones.
The local ones, what they do normally is they try to employ a few individuals, provide motorcycles to them, something to do, and those ones are remitting funds daily into some accounts.
Really?
Yes, so it's been tracked. Those are issues. So
all the money they get from the bandits go into...
So they try to circulate this money, and that's why it's important for us to be able to track those things. And the NFIU has been doing so much. There is so much going, apart from the intelligence setup, the financial links are also being followed through and through, and arrests have been made, and I can assure you that the Attorney General of Federation, the NSA are all working seriously to ensure that we address those issues.
What would you say is the ideological backing for financing terror on Nigerian soil? Take from the Northeast region, and I'd like to be educated if there is some kind of funding for banditry too, because we do know that terror in the Northeast is being backed by some foreign element and with connivance with local element. Is banditry also being backed by foreign funding?
You know, they work. You know, criminals work together. They've synergized their efforts together, both the bandits and the terrorists working together because, one, a common goal. They want to make money. They want to just make sure that the communities are not suffering for whatever reason. And again, some part of politics. You know, some individuals don't also want, when there is peace, it shows that the government is doing well. And when there's no peace, it shows the government is not doing well. And, I mean, you realize that last year we had the least number of deaths throughout last year. Then how come this year, then suddenly everything has spiked up because politics is coming in, elections are coming in. So you cannot rule out the fact that some people are also controlling them, making sure that they show that there is no peace.
Makes Nigeria ungovernable and discredit the government.
But you see, the funny thing is that how will you want to govern people that you want to kill? Or how do you want to kill the people you want to govern? What do you gain from it?
Are you not able to identify these political elements who are using security as a political tool?
Yeah, you know, work is in progress.
Let Nigerians know that.
Yes,
people should not vote for people who want to kill.
Work is in progress.
So that they can get advantage.
They don't care what happens. I can tell you the DSS, the NIA, the NFIU, the DIA are all working assiduously to ensure that. And again, because it has to do with the legal system. Sometimes legal intercepts, you take it to court, it's knocked out. What reason? One reason or the other. Again, this brings us to the legal system. We have to also review our legal, because some of the punishments and prosecutions are too
we need a special security tribunal to prosecute.
Well,
this is part of where
I don't want to say special. If I say tribunal, it might look as if it is a military kind of say we're in a democracy. So maybe if we have special courts that will treat cases as quickly as they are, and that is very important. And I think we need to also review the punishment for offenses. We need to do that so that we make it very. I give you an example in the South. We arrest a vessel, we take care. How much is it? They give them peanuts, and the vessel is back. And that's why we started burning them. But again, people started talking about the environment. So you are now caught between the devil and the devil city, which is, for us, burning those items once they are found arrested, we started having peace. But as long as we keep on arresting them and handing them over and they go through the legal system, it becomes a problem.
It takes a longer time to prosecute.
And when you take, and I'll give you an example. You make arrest and you bring up and you go in, risk all your life, make an arrest, and you take it, and they give you for one reason or the other technical issues, the item is released. Tomorrow you think that soldier is ready to sacrifice himself to go and make arrest again, it becomes a problem. But if these laws are stringent, even for terrorism, in the Middle East, terrorism cases are serious cases. If your name gets in there, you are nobody, even your family member, nobody will come. You have to extricate yourself.
Yeah,
and so we have to make it more stringent.
Yeah, and I take this opportunity to talk to lawmakers because they represent every part of the country. They are recess right now. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, should be listening. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas, should be listening tonight. Now, the frustration the military said they are experiencing is about our body of laws and how long and how frustrating some of our legal system is encouraging terrorism. Can we do something about it? If truly some of you serve in the interest of Nigerians, let's start doing something and let's start kicking some of these things off our list of things that frustrate our effort in keeping our country safe. So the legal system is a bit frustrating.
It is frustrating.
We need to unbundle
it and we'll make it faster and then make it more stringent. I think that will really change, because once people don't know that they can get away with anything, I mean, that's impunity sets in, and that's critical, and we cannot prosecute.
We know this, in fact, plus the names and the lists that were inherited from the Buhari government. So we have a long list of terror financiers, right?
Of course, yes.
So, but it's difficult to name them.
No, it's not difficult, but I don't know them because I don't work directly. But I can tell you that the Attorney General is working on it. Prosecutions have started. I'm sure you know that those ones that did the bombing are already facing prosecution. Yeah. So from their facts, we're getting the information and we are treating it as quickly as possible.
And we understand that they have some safe havens in some countries. Are we getting the needed support from some of these countries?
No, of course we are. The problem is that, since Libya fell, that's where the problem started.
Our disaster started.
Disaster started since Libya fell. And now Libya, Sudan is in turmoil.
The Sahel.
The Sahel is open.
It's open.
They have markets where you go there, you can buy any kind of ammunition you want, any kind of weapon you want, that is ungoverned.
Not even in the black market.
Not anything you want to buy, you can get open. And then everybody flows through, and then the borders are just... And then you understand that Niger is there, Burkina Faso, Mali, are also having this issue with the Sahel terror. And everybody's interest is to come to Nigeria because they feel Nigeria is rich, Nigeria is large, they can come in and do a lot of things in Nigeria. And one issue we have is Nigerians opening that door. We have large hearts. But again, we have to think of security. Sometimes these guys come in and we say, look, these are our brothers, these are our sisters, these are people coming in, but they don't mean us good. The Lakrawas, when they came in, that was the issue. Boko Haram, when they started, that was the issue. We allowed them to fester until they become monsters and start eating us, then we start complaining. We should never allow anybody, any foreigner, an inch of our land, for whatever reason.
But our borders are porous, General.
Yeah, but efforts have been made, but again, we need to do a lot, and especially with our neighbors. And I want to assure Nigerians that we're still working together with the AES countries because we know we need them. We need them to be stable. Because if your neighbor is in trouble, the way it is now, you have to stand strong.
Is the military junta in those countries helping at all?
No, we're working with the military. We're working with the military because we know the importance that we must secure ourselves together. Working together, that's one is basic.
So there must be stability in those
we need them to be stable.
If not,
we're in trouble.
And the most vulnerable country, states like Sokoto,
yes,
Meduguri,
seven
states across the
1,500 kilometers.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I described to someone how vast those borders are. Is as though you're traveling all the way from Lagos to about Abuja.
No,
that's more than.
No, Lagos to Meduguri.
To Meduguri.
Yeah.
That's how far.
That's how far it is.
Our borders. So just imagine that unmanned and ungoverned. Those borders are.
Nigeria has 4,000 kilometers of border. 4,000 kilometers. Yeah. So it's massive. Yeah. And that's why it's important that we have bilateral relationship with we're working together with Cameroon, with Chad, with Niger, with Benin Republic, and all this. In fact, when Benin Republic was attacked, we had to send our aircraft to go and provide some level of support for them. Otherwise, it would have been, because If anything happens to them and we say it's not our business, when they come in, it's going to be our business.
So Nigeria military is not only safeguarding Nigeria.
No.
Nigeria is the father of the other smaller countries.
We have done
Keep
that
them safe.
Yes.
And Niger, for example, Niger is bigger than
1.5 times the size of Nigeria.
Exactly.
But with a very small population.
So
they have so much space on their own government.
Yes. And you see these guys.
And that's a challenge.
They attack and they move.
They
attack and they move in.
Very well.
Difficult, isn't it?
Very difficult. Very.
Give us an understanding. How many years has the military been chasing the emir of Ansaro and his deputy?
No, it's been a long time. When they started about, I think, 5-6 years ago, when they came out really
into tracking
them. And, you know, they kept on moving because, again, they cover through darkness. They have some level of support from the locals. Sometimes the ignorance of the locals is what they play at. They make you think it's religion. No, we're doing this, we're just preaching, we're not doing anything, we're your brothers, we're this. The intention is always different. When the Lakurawas came in, the Lakurawas were established in Niger. Now, when those ones within the border area saw them, they were in trouble, they said, okay, no, why not come to Nigeria? Come to us and be friends. Let's work together. We're going to feed you. They started feeding them. When they couldn't feed them, they started tasking the locals. When the locals couldn't do, they now started attacking them. It's always like that.
Has Lakurawa been taken out?
No, we're on the process. A lot of inroads have been made on it, and then we'll continue to push it well. They are taking advantage of the forest. You know, we have a very long forest, so when they go in, it's difficult to track them. But working with the intelligence and the troops, we're making inroads.
Serious. There are those who say you are from Kaduna State.
Yes.
And there's relative peace in Kaduna.
Yes.
Is it coincidence?
Well, I think it's what we did is that the non-kinetic effort does a lot. Does a lot. And again,
and where you come from, your area is the most embattled.
I'm from Zango. Yes, I'm from Zango.
Zango areas around the forest towards Katsina,
Zamfara, yes.
Very, very dangerous. And all of a sudden, we have a CDS from Kaduna, from Zango Katab, and there is some kind of.
You know, it was the setup. It was the setup before now. There were individuals that were pushing these things deliberately to make the area untenable. Deliberately. So the individuals were out and were able to come and talk to the people, say, look, we have to live in peace. Everybody has to shine his eyes. Anything you see, report. We now were able to look at the gaps that were existing and we make sure we block them. So we denied them the ability to get logistics, to move freely, and that was the trick. Those are the same things we're applying everywhere. So gradually, we're applying that in Kaduna. It's working. We're moving into Jos. We're moving into
Zamfara needs it a lot.
Yes.
And even Katsina.
And Katsina.
About 6-7 local governments in Katsina is very troubled.
Very well. And that's we're spreading in quietly. You know, the areas what's helping those areas is informants. The level of informants in these areas I've never seen. You are seeing people that are killing. Why are you supporting them? Why are you giving them support? They look at the number of troops, they tell them we have soldiers that are going there, 30 in number, they are moving in trucks, this is where they are going to, this is where that information is flowing to these guys as quickly, and then they want to react. And because there are many, you know, they are moving in the border, they cross quite easily and come in. So those are the areas we're putting. So Nigerians, and that's why I also said that it's important for us to start teaching security right from primary school. Our neighbors, if you go to them, they know what security is. If you go there as a foreigner, before you know it, they are calling the gendarmes on you. We have heard there's a foreigner here. What's he doing here? The gendarme comes to pick you, identify yourself.
Would you encourage an average Nigerian to learn combat skills, to learn how to protect themselves?
No, I think that one should be taken. Like learning driving, learning how to
combat skills,
how to swim.
Every parent should start teaching them.
It is a survival instinct. Forget even whether we have war or not. It's a survival instinct, and that's why you see in Europe swimming. It's compulsory. Learning and teaching about security, because you have to know what security means. Sometimes you see individuals, you see somebody coming in, you don't know who he is, no background check, nothing. Even before independence, Africa, if you come into any community, people know, find out who are you, what are you doing. But nowadays, I don't know whether it is...
you see something, say
something. No, that's how you help the security forces.
General, Nigerians continue to bury loved ones from terror attacks, from Plateau to Zamfara to Benue. How do you explain tonight to grieving families that the government is truly in control of this security crisis?
Yeah, because there's been a marked improvement. I mean, we cannot just, like I said, we cannot just stop it overnight. These guys, what they do is that they look for soft targets. These same informants will tell them there are soldiers here. They look for and identify where there is nobody, and they strike. Most of these areas, there is no network. Before you even get the information, they have gone. And before you react to those areas, you go. And that's what we're saying. That it's important for us to have infrastructure, dividends of democracy. Because again, that helps to ensure that people don't get recruited quite easily. Because it's this easy way of recruiting these people into the system that makes it a lot. We are taking out weekly so many, but you'll be surprised that so many are also coming in.
I was going to ask
and those are the issues on ground. Yes,
because President Tinubu, part of the promises before he got into office, and when he got into office, he promised to make security his #1 priority. More than a year later, 2 years after, kidnappings and mass killings still dominate the headlines. So why does it look like the reality is not matching the promises?
Yeah, but like I told you, there is never any country in the world that is crime-free. No country in the world, and it's not possible. As long as there's humanity, there will be crisis.
But would you say that Nigeria is safer today than it was 2 years ago?
There's a lot of improvement. The president is doing so much to support us. And again, you know, the humanitarian departments also being their own beat, and everybody trying to rally around. Like I said, it's a whole of society approach to this, not one-sided. Before now, people used to think it's just a military solution, but we said no. The non-kinetic effort does a lot in ensuring that people don't get recruited, and once they cannot be recruited, they cannot survive. And that's why it's important for the communities not to allow them thrive within themselves. There's a lot of things going on and a lot of actions being taken.
Give me a short moment, General. We'll take a break, and when we return, despite the gains and military successes translated into real security for Nigerians, we'll be right back to speaking with the #1 military officer in the land, as the Chief of Defense Staff, General Chris Musa. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. What about our satellites? I know, so that we don't deceive ourselves. The NICOMSAT, I'm not sure they're active. The ones the Chinese hosted for us, we don't even have control over it, unfortunately. But we need the satellites to work.
The satellites are there. We see what we need. We need real-time satellites. When an operation, I tell you an example, when an operation is ongoing and you can see, your commanders can direct you, this man is moving here, these ones are deployed there, you can do good. But we don't have that. And these things are damn so expensive to get because we don't have them. So we have to rely on using those.
And some of these enemies, they capitalize on
all this
incapacity.
Good. Those are
be able to
take advantage of
because
this.
For example, I remember when some Americans were talking about the elite forces that came to extract an American in the Northeast region. It was monitored in DC remotely from Pentagon. It was monitored remotely, and the operation went without.
And do you know the amount of money that was spent in doing that?
Yeah.
Because they have the capacity, they produce the equipment they use. We don't do. We have to rely on buying. Sometimes even with your money, you can't get those equipments. Now with the Russian-Ukraine war going, a lot of equipments are difficult to come by. So that's why I'm happy that Mr. President has last year approved. After signing the DICOM bill, the Defense Industrial Bill, for us to now invite original equipment manufacturers, let's produce. Because when we produce, then we can get much at money's worth. If you don't, it's going to be extremely difficult. And so we're working on that, and that has really continued to.
But there are other markets. Turkey is there.
Even there, it's not easy to come by. Some of these things you pay, you have to wait a long time for these things to be produced. And so, but I think the trick out is for us to produce. Because once we start production, employment for us, we save our foreign exchange, we can also sell to our neighboring countries. And so it's a win-win thing. And I think that's what we are going to continue to work on. But on the general term, I think, again, to show that things are improving, the oil price is coming down, petrol is coming down almost on a weekly basis. The Naira is stable. The GDP has improved, even if it's slightly, but at least it has appreciated to show that things are really, really picking up. For the first time I was reading today, foreign reserve has climbed 41 billion, which is massive. And I think if we continue like this gradually, our oil production has increased to 1.8 liters beyond our OPEC quota. We are targeting 2.5, 2 million, 2.5. I think we can achieve that. To do that, again, we need all our oil wells to be working efficiently. And I think the president wants to go into that to ensure that all the oil wells have the right people that will operate them so that we can benefit from God-given talent. And we've been able to address this issue of bunkering. It has reduced to the maximum now. Stealing or theft of fuel has also increased. All the major producers are reporting green in all their pipelines, so they are producing 98% for the first time in a very long period of time.
We are anticipating 2 million barrels.
2 million barrels. We're targeting 2 million barrels, and at most, when all the oil wells are, we're targeting 2.53. Nigeria can achieve that. It's very possible.
Yeah, hopefully. And I don't want to sound like American President Donald Trump, but I'm hoping that this might also be an option. Building walls in some part of the Northeast.
Well, we had my comment. That's what I preached. I said we should build walls from critical areas. Especially this 1,500 kilometers. If we're able to take it out and make sure we secure it fully. And it's not only the walls. When you put the walls, you have to use technology. Put cameras, put drones, so that anybody crossing is known. And again, I keep on saying, it's important that we must develop a database for Nigeria. We can never shy away from having a database and the only way we do that, let's compress every detail we have into one document. We know every Nigerian. We know how many vehicles, what house, what road, what street. When you go abroad, you commit a crime. There's a 50-50 chance that you'll be caught. It's not by magic. It's because they have your database. They have your number. All they require for you is you get your thumbprint or get your face or your signature, and they can track to where you are. We must be able to leverage on that and to develop.
Are you aware of what the Ministry of Interior, because I spoke with the Minister of Interior not long ago, Olubumi Tunji-Ojo, who said he couldn't speak so much about some of the effort, but I said that there are efforts in remotely and digitally monitoring our border space in this country. Are you aware of what?
No, we work together. We really exchange a lot of ideas together. We sit down to brainstorm on issues and ways forward on how to address these issues. And it's working. It's working quite very well. We need to do more. That's what we're saying. We need to scale up well and to assist them. If we have a database, it's easier for us to build so that everybody has a number as a Nigerian, maybe social security number like other countries when you do. So when you go, all you need is what's your social security number, and we're able to get details about you. If a vehicle is stolen, it's easier to track it. If something is done, it's easier to track it.
So guys, you guys have probably heard from the chief of defense staff what he said about terrorism. He went as far as trying to link Simon Ekpa with terrorism, saying that since Simon Ekpa has been arrested, the terrorism activities in the southeast have reduced. And now Barr Darlington is coming out to tell us that the federal government is dining with terrorists, and that is what is making the terrorism activities in Nigeria to increase and become more widespread. So guys, let me know your thought below and in what those people said. Let me know what you really think about this by dropping your comment below. And also, if you're new to this channel, please do well to click the subscribe button, especially if you're coming across this channel for the first time. Do well to click the subscribe button, like and share, and turn on the notification bell to be getting all the latest news on this channel. So guys, thanks for watching, and also don't forget that Nnamdi Kanu is going to be coming to court on the 10th October 2025. And I'm giving you guys the latest updates concerning that and everything concerning Master Nnamdi Kanu. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time in my next live section.